Okay, we're officially live. What's up, Nikki? Streaming on YouTube and X. What's up, Noah? Okay, closing bell rings in 15 seconds. Now, SPY had a nice recovery today, but it is S&P is going to close red. But nice recovery from the pretty bad pre-market, pretty bearish pre-market. Opening move was basically bearish down to 670 area. Nice recovery though. Nonetheless, S&P is down 0.9% right now. Nasdaq's down a little over 1%. The Dow's down 0.8%. VIX at 23. 10-year yield at 0.27%. The dollar is green. So 10-year yield in dollar green, of course. So the two stocks I'm going to go over today that are reporting earnings is CrowdStrike and GitLab. So let's just talk about them real quick. CrowdStrike, ticker symbol CRWD. Their forecast EPS at $1.10. Forecast revenue $1.3 billion. Quick look at their annual chart here. And GitLab, ticker symbol GTLB. Forecast EPS 23 cents. Forecast revenue $251 million. So both companies are supposed to report. Well, GitLab is supposed to report at 4:05, and CrowdStrike is supposed to report at 4:10. So we'll give this a second. Blue Brains, what's up, my friend? Good to see you. Give a shout out to my friend Blue Brains on YouTube. All right, so just some information about these two companies. CrowdStrike is software and IT services. A lot of people know about CrowdStrike. They're based out of Texas in the US. They provide cloud-delivered protection of endpoints, cloud workloads, identity, and data. They got a Falcon platform designed for cybersecurity, purpose-built to stop breaches. That's CrowdStrike. And CrowdStrike, they do have a negative EPS, 243 million float. Let's look at the financials just real quick. So they have yet to pull a positive net income, but stock's trading just below 400, so they obviously have a huge following and investors love what they're doing, even though they're not pulling a profit yet. Last time they pulled a profit in 2024. Balance sheet on CrowdStrike, 59%. CrowdStrike, as of Halloween of last year, had 4.8 billion in cash and equivalents. Let's go back to the sticks. So that's CrowdStrike. GitLab, they also have a negative EPS, 145 million float. Let's see here. GitLab hasn't pulled in positive net income in 3 quarters. Debt to asset only 38%, so that's good for GitLab. $1.2 billion in cash and equivalents. Go back to the sticks here. Okay, getting some action. Go to TradingView. It's 5-minute charts here. Okay. So far, GitLab kind of spiked up to 27.72, then came down. They closed the regular session at $26.70, up almost 2% on the day. They're down 0.8% right now in after hours, but I don't think the earnings data has been digested yet. Let's wait and see when the move comes in. And getting some a little bit of buying on CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike's on the left, right here. GitLab's on the right. Okay, I'm thinking GitLab's results are out. Still waiting on the data. GTLB. Let's see if I can get the press release from them. Okay, still indecision on GitLab. All right, let's see. Press release, press release. I don't see their press release yet. That's odd. So they haven't posted it on their website yet, so I'm still waiting. Okay, there's CrowdStrike. It's 405 now. That's probably why I didn't see the data. So data's probably dropping any second. It's probably already dropped. But here we go. Positive reaction on GitLab. So that price action before that wasn't really the move. Getting some movement now. Look at CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike's over 400 bucks right now. GitLab getting some selling. Still waiting on GitLab's data. Look at my other screen here. Yeah, I don't see anything yet on GitLab, so I'm still waiting. Price is moving though, so okay. Here's I got the data here. The earnings correspondent. We'll go to CrowdStrike here in a second, but GitLab, they did beat EPS. They beat revenue. EPS is down year over year, but revenue is up year over year. It's kind of just the bird's eye view. Let's see what else I can find on GitLab. I know most people are probably here for CrowdStrike, so we're going to go over that for sure. Let's take a look at CrowdStrike. There's some selling coming in on CrowdStrike right now. Initial reaction was up to 408, or actually 409. That obviously wasn't the real move because now it's red. It's down about 2.5%. GitLab's still thinking about what it wants to do. But here's some good information about CrowdStrike, posted by Wolf Financial. Revenue came in for CrowdStrike. They beat revenue. We already went over that. Gross profit 989.5 million. EPS came in at 15. Adjusted EPS $1.12. Net income 40.8 million. All right. For CrowdStrike, they did increase the Q1 revenue outlook just a hair, just a little bit. The estimate was 1.35 billion. They reported 1.36 billion. Not enough to excite investors, obviously, because there's, it's printing a red candle right now. All right, let's look at fiscal year revenue. The estimate was 5.86 billion. On the low end, they said 5.87 billion. So I suppose they increased the revenue a little bit, but just a hair, not enough to impress investors. Let's look at a few other things. GitLab still doesn't know what's going on. I mean, it is green, but you see the wicks on the bottom, the wicks on the top. Still kind of waiting on the move there. All right, my buddy Shad Balor posted a good update. So the fiscal year guidance for revenue for CrowdStrike basically came in line. They didn't increase it at all. And also the Q1 guidance for revenue came in line. So I think investors were hoping that they would raise the guidance, and that just didn't happen. They did beat revenue and EPS for today's earnings report. I'll post that in the comments for everybody. But yeah, investors are not impressed right now on CrowdStrike. Post that in the Discord as well for everyone. And let me figure out when they're going to do their earnings, the actual earnings call with the higher up. I finally got their press release too for GitLab. But let's finish up with CrowdStrike. We'll go back to GitLab. GitLab was just kind of frozen, indecision on GitLab, but The earnings for CrowdStrike, they don't look bad, but they weren't impressive. You know, they weren't impressive in my opinion. And that's being reflected in the stock price right now. You know, especially these tech companies. Investors want to be wowed with these tech companies, and CrowdStrike just, it wasn't a wow earnings. Yeah, they beat by a little bit. But you know, nothing fantastical. Here's CrowdStrike's investor relations link. If anyone wants to take a deeper dive into their earnings, post that in the Discord as well for any CrowdStrike investors out there. And let me just take a look and see if I can find some commentary from them. Here's the press release right here. If you go to that link I gave everyone, they do have a PDF you can download. It's 13 pages long. But let's look at this here. Let's take a look. Okay, right here. Here's some commentary. So the CEO, his name's George Kurtz. He said fiscal year 26 will go down in our history books as CrowdStrike's best year yet. We achieved 5.25 billion in ending ARR, the fastest and only pure play cybersecurity software company to achieve this milestone. Driven by a record $1.01 billion of net new ARR, our first year exceeding $1 billion of net new ARR. We also delivered record operating and free cash flow for both the quarter and the year. Like I said, I don't think their earnings were bad. It just wasn't like super impressive. But I do think maybe this red candle might be short-lived. It's already printing a green one right now. These are 5-minute candles. But the CEO George, he goes on to say, our record results showcase the durability of our growth and cash flow generation. As enterprises rapidly adopt AI, CrowdStrike is mission-critical infrastructure, securing AI across every layer from GPU to agent to prompt. The AI revolution is creating a massive growth opportunity for CrowdStrike, one that our technology team and ecosystem are well positioned to continue winning. So just some statements from the CEO. The CFO, his name's Bert Podbear. He said CrowdStrike delivered a record fourth quarter in fiscal year 2026, exceeding expectations across all guided metrics. I mean, they did beat, you know, the estimates. There's no doubt there. And the CFO went on to say that the combination of accelerating growth, expanding profitability, and record cash flow generation puts CrowdStrike in rare air. With exceptional momentum across the business and a record Q1 pipeline, they have strong conviction to once again raise the fiscal year ARR outlook. So I guess they raised that. The AI revolution represents a new generational growth opportunity for CrowdStrike, and we are confident in our ability to deliver durable, profitable growth as we scale to our goal of $20 billion ending ARR in fiscal year 36. Much longer term view there. And the total revenue was a 23% increase in the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2025. Subscription revenue, again, was a 23% increase. The ARR, which is the annual recurring revenue, that grew 24% year over year. So there's growth there. They just didn't really raise the guidance much. I think that's the hesitation in the stock price. And let's see. Cash flow, net cash generated from operations was $497.9 million compared to $345 million in the fourth quarter. And free cash flow of $376 million compared to $239 million in the fourth quarter of fiscal 2024. And so basically cash and cash equivalents grew to $5.23 billion as of January 31st, 2026. Looks like investors might be taking that red candle as a discount here. It came down to 371.20 after it closed the regular session at 391 and some change. So that was a $20 per share discount that was just given there. And it looks like it's being bought up. Working on this green candle now, flickering pretty good. Got some volatility here. Looks like it's on its way back up to retrace that red candle. That's nice to see for the CrowdStrike bulls. Let me look over here on TradingView. Let's put this probably right about there. So yeah, this is retraced almost 100% of that red candle already. So looks like this was definitely a dip buy that happened pretty quickly here in the post market. Again, that was a $20 per share dip buy right there, or discount, if you will. And now investors were scooping that up. Price right back up to where it closed the regular session, a little bit above it now. Trading at 394. This is looking good for the bulls here. Nice turnaround. Okay, so that's CrowdStrike. Let me look at a few other things here. Hold on one second. Okay, CRWD. Let's find out when CrowdStrike's going to do their call. CRWD. Okay. Oh, I already had it kind of pulled up over here, but that's okay. I'll X out of that. We go to events and presentations for CrowdStrike. Let's look at that. Right here. Okay. All right, 2 p.m. Pacific time. So 5 p.m. Eastern is when they're going to do their web call. And I'll post the direct link to how to get to the web call here. I'll put that in the comments too. Might save some people some time. Here, that's the direct link there. And then you can see this link right here. When you get there, it says listen to webcast. So click on that and then you'll be able to get in. But again, their web call is not starting for about 45 more minutes. But double beat for CrowdStrike. They raised the outlook on the ARR a little bit. The outlook on the other fronts were kind of kept the same. But they do have some great growth with their data, year-over-year growth. And like I said, their earnings weren't bad. They just weren't fantastical. I think that's why this red candle printed, but definitely looks like some investors bought that dip because it's right back. It's actually a little green in after hours now, so looks like it's going to be okay for the CrowdStrike bulls. Hang in there; it's looking good. All right, so now that we got CrowdStrike's data and their earnings reaction, and we know when they're doing their call with the higher ups, and we know how to get there. I'm going to transition over to GitLab. Let me close down some of these windows real quick. All right, GitLab. Let's take a look. GTLB, because they got a negative reaction and they're still hanging out down here. So let's see. GTLB. Okay, here we go. GTLB did have a double beat. Looks like their cash position remains strong. Let's look at a few other things here. GitLab. All right, let me post this results from GitLab. They beat EPS, they beat revenue. Now the implied move for GitLab is around 13%, in case anyone was wondering. And I'll post this on the bottom of my screen. This is for GitLab. So they did get a double beat, but investors are not buying this up yet. But they did double beat. Let's see if we check a few more things, see if I can find some red flags here, why it's printing this red candle. Let me take a look. Also for GitLab, the board authorized a $400 million share repurchase program. That's good, you know, moving forward in the future. Okay, I know what happened to GitLab. They reduced the guidance. They reduced the guidance for Q1 revenue. Let me just post this for everyone. So this is the reason why GitLab's down here right now. Let me post this comment and it'll make it pretty clear. All right, let's do this. Okay, so let me get it posted in the comments and then we'll go over it real quick. But there we go. So of course everyone's seeing the red candle on GitLab. So the Q1 outlook for revenue, the expectation was 256 million basically, and now they're saying it's only going to be 253 to 255 million. So revenue outlook was decreased on the quarterly outlook, and also on the fiscal year outlook, they reduced it, the revenue outlook, the guidance there as well, as long as the earnings per share was reduced on GitLab. So those are some red flags for GitLab. It is printing a green candle right now, but nonetheless, it's still down a little over 3.5% right now. CrowdStrike bulls retraced that whole red candle, so this looks fine. I'd probably be on the lookout for a secondary move when they do the actual earnings call at 5 p.m. Eastern. It's a little after 4:20 right now, so about 40 more minutes for their call. But great job from the CrowdStrike bulls buying that discount. Now it's right back to where it closed the regular session. Might just hang out there until they do their call at 5 p.m. Eastern. So that's basically what's going on with CrowdStrike. Overall, CrowdStrike's earnings did not look bad. They did beat a lot of the expectations. They raised the ARR a little bit on the guidance side. The rest of the guidance was kind of flat. They didn't raise guidance on the other things, so that's why it's kind of not really catching a bid or anything. But who knows? Maybe we'll see some buying when they start their call at 5 p.m. Eastern. So just be on the lookout for that for CrowdStrike secondary move, possibly at 5 when they start that call. GitLab reduced their outlook for Q1 revenue and their outlook for fiscal year revenue. However, they did double beat the for today's forecast for the earnings data for today. But all it takes is the company reducing their guidance a little bit and investors are going to sell it, and that's kind of what's going on with GitLab. It's not down too much. It's only down $1 a share roughly, so it's not like anything crazy is happening with GitLab. When they reduced the guidance, they didn't reduce it a ton. They just reduced it, a little bit. So it doesn't look too bad for GitLab, for any GitLab investors out there. But let's find out where GitLab's. Let me see if I can find some commentary from them. I always like to see some commentary from the higher ups. Let me post the investor relations link for GitLab. Got about 750 people tuning in right now across YouTube, probably mostly on X. So any GitLab investors out there, I just put the link in the comments where you can go take a deeper dive in their earnings if you want to. I'm going to cover up CrowdStrike just for a minute, keep GitLab on the right, and let's just see what their press release. Okay, their press release is 15-page PDF document, so if you want to go look at that, that's fine. But total revenue was up 23% year over year, comparing the fourth quarter from the year prior. And as far as the fiscal year goes, that was up 26% year over year. And for GitLab, the CEO, his name's Bill Staples. He says GitLab sits at the heart of how enterprises build and deliver software. The launch of GitLab Duo agent platform brings intelligent orchestration to the full software lifecycle, with all of the context needed to unlock step function gains across every task in software engineering. As code volume explodes, security, compliance, and governance are no longer optional. They're existential. GitLab was built for this environment. And the CFO, her name is Jessica Ross, fiscal year 2026 saw GitLab cross $1 billion in ARR and deliver $220 million of free cash flow. We are building new multi-year growth drivers with GitLab dual agent platform and hybrid pricing. Kind of what the CEO was saying. Our new $400 million share repurchase authorization reflects confidence in the business and our commitment to delivering. So again, the GitLab's earnings weren't terrible. They reduced the guidance a little bit for revenue for the quarter and for the fiscal year. So it's probably why it printed that red candle. But you know, overall, they did double beat. They did double beat. So it's not terrible. It's not bad at all, in my opinion. And it's only down $1 per share. So it's not like it's getting hammered in a negative way or anything like that. I mean, it's down a little bit, but not really a lot. So let's find out when they're going to do their call with the higher ups. Again, CrowdStrike's call starts at 5 p.m. Eastern, about another 30 more minutes for that. Here, let me just do this. Let's go to event presentation. Okay. Well, okay, here it is here. GitLab's going to do their earnings call at 4:30 Eastern in literally 5 more minutes. So here's the link for everyone, the direct link. It's a little longer than the first link I posted. There we go. There. All right. So we got our earnings reactions on both companies. We know whether they beat or not. We talked about the guidance a little bit. We know when they're going to do their earnings calls and when they're going to get there. We talked about a little bit of commentary from the CEO and the CFO. Let me get rid of this fib level real quick. If they end up making a move because of their earnings call at 5 p.m. Eastern, it's for CrowdStrike. I'd be looking at the mental level of 400. It lines up with my 21 EMA. CrowdStrike has been downtrending since November. Pretty clear on the daily chart here, making lower highs and lower lows, and price action remaining relatively below my EMA. So obviously been downtrending since November. If they get a positive reaction, I'll be looking for a break of 400. It's about 10 points from where the price is at now in post-market. A nice clean break of 400. I'd like to see a daily candle, not just wick above it and break it. I want to see the candle close above 400. And, you know, if investors take the earnings web call at 5 p.m. Eastern positively and they get more clarity from the CEO and the higher ups, and there is some buying that comes in on this, again, resistance level number 1 on CrowdStrike, $400 mental level, very easy. If that gets breached with some, you know, and then get a daily candle close above it, I'd be looking at 420 a share. So 400 and then 420 on CrowdStrike. If for some reason they get a negative reaction, well, I'd probably just use the low of today's candle right around 370, probably be my S1 support level number 1. 370, then 360, right where this hammer candle printed right here. Bottom of that, 360. So I'm going to go ahead and mark those out just so I have them on my chart so I can maybe look for bounces around those levels if depending on what reaction we get. 400 and 420 on the top side, and then 370 and 360 on the bottom side. That's what I got for my levels on the bigger time frame. We'll see what ends up happening. We'll go back to 5-minute chart. Okay, so they are printing a red 5-minute right now. Again, their earnings web call starts in 30 minutes. So, you know, let's see if we get more volatility when they do that call. But anyways, I had a lot of fun day trading with the Discord group today. I traded the opening session this morning, and we got our hands on NVIDIA and made some good money on NVIDIA. Here, I'll just share the trade with everybody here. Basically traded the opening move, and it was a bit volatile, the opening move, but this was more or less like a gap fill trade. But it was the $180 call option on NVIDIA. March 4th expiration. I did 4 lot size and got about 40% on that. So that was a nice win today, this morning. And it's always nice if you can make, you know, several $100 before lunchtime and everything's all great after that. So that was fun trading this morning. And then I traded some 0 DTE spreads on SPX this afternoon when I was doing my spread stream. And this was the results of that. I sold to open the 68.40 call, and then I bought to open the 68.35 call. Excuse me, I sold to open the 68.35 call, and I bought to open the 68.40 call. It was a call credit spread, which is neutral to bearish. Even though we're trading calls, it doesn't mean we're bullish, because we were technically short the calls because we received overall credit on the trade. And you can see how this is right before I cashed it out, but didn't make a ton of money. I was only in the trade for maybe 10 minutes, probably not even 10 minutes. And got a quick $50 on the table, 27% on the spread. So I was happy with that and took that. So couple that small win with my great win I had in the morning on NVIDIA. Overall, it was a great day trading live with the Discord. I had a lot of fun doing it. And I live stream every week in the Discord. And basically, I mean, at this point, I'm basically live trading every day. Mondays, I do my session with my coaching members. I got like over 120 people in my coaching group right now. And we mainly write contracts over there and trade a lot of spreads and stuff. And so that's on Monday. Tuesday morning, I live trade the market open. Wednesday morning, I live trade the market open. And of course, I do the earnings streams at 4 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then Friday, I have a special stream with my Traders Paradise members. Those are the members that go to our in-person event that we have once a year, usually during the summertime. This year, it's in Nashville from June 7th through June 11th, I believe. And we've already sold quite a few tickets to that in-person event. So that's coming up in just another 3 months. I believe it's June 7th through 11th, I believe. But yeah, you know, if you're interested in coming to the in-person event, just make sure to join the Discord. And you're going to want to send a message to OG Nikki or just open a support ticket. And you can get all the details for that. But basically, we're going to be live trading every day, every morning there. We got a lot of special sessions going on and special speakers that are going to be talking. And I'm actually going to be releasing a new trading strategy. I try and do that every year. I release a new trading strategy to everyone, more on the advanced options trading, where there's multi-legs involved with the trade, different expiration dates. And we get real creative when we construct those trades. So, but it's going to be very exciting and looking forward to seeing everybody in person. This is our 3rd year doing it. But yeah, that's Traders Paradise. It's going to be in Nashville this year. So if you want more information on that, just get a hold of OG Nikki in the Discord, and she can break down all the details for you. Also, if you're looking for a new home, you can join the Discord for free. Doesn't cost anything. Links in the description. We also have a free watch list that we send out every morning. If you want to sign up for the free watch list, that's the first link in the description. And people are really loving those watch lists in the morning. Basically trade setups with entry level stop loss recommendations, not financial advice, just for education purposes, and take profit levels and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, other than that, that's really all I got for today. As always, specifically for the Discord members, if y'all ever need anything, just shoot me a DM or tag me in the chat. I'm always there for support. I love each and every one of you. But I hope everyone has a great night. And until next time, I'll see everyone in the very next stream. Cheers, y'all. Bye.